looking forward to that being
So
done.
I'm going to use my passport to take the pictures.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, we're live.
Right.
We are live and lots of green numbers today.
Woo.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road here. Oh, look at that. Let's do it this way because then I can get this to be like so. Hopefully. Am I there?
Nope. Don't see you.
My camera is.
I don't see you.
All right, hang on. Let's get this going here.
Oh, what is that?
There we go. That is the sound of my phone and my computer synchronizing so that my phone acts as a camera.
Oh.
All right, we are live Saturday morning, the 23rd of November. Market analysis. Well, the first thing we just got to cover one thing, and that is that gold and silver, the stock exchanges, all that stuff, that doesn't trade on the weekends, so we're likely not going to see much there. But what I want to do, instead of talking about the American markets, well, we can quickly just look at them. I mean, gold is still going up. In fact, right up until the end of the day. Oh,
you're shared. You're not shared.
Sharing my screen. Well, let's get that going. There we are. All right, here we go. Let's move this over too so that those numbers don't get so covered up. Okay, and you know what? I'm going to also... Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't think... Yeah, you know what? That's fine. Let's do that. All right, so I've got an extra column of numbers now on my trading view. This is how much the asset has changed. So this is the percentage right here. But now I've added the amount that the shift has occurred. So for instance, in gold, it has gone up $46 and oh, there's my ripple. I'm gonna need my cursor ripple. There we go. Okay, so right here, that has gone up $46 and 43 cents, 43.5 cents. So I've added this column just so we can see exactly how much it's gone up and down since the beginning of the day. And honestly, I'm going to maintain the 2-hour chart here just because of how much detail it gives us. So as we can see, gold continuing to rise right up until the end of the market closing. But again, now look, we are at this point of resistance. If we go back in time, we can see that this price line has actually, but no, look at that, more sliver of, there we go. So yeah, the price action is right now butting up against the underside of this pivot point right here. And so we can expect some retracement. Now we might just be coming back up. I mean, we take into consideration that this high has beat out the previous high. We could be on a bull run. It would be quite something to watch, and an anomaly to say the least. US 30. Oh, where did my silver go? You know, I've noticed sometimes it gets taken down, my charts. Silver. Let's go with yeah, that one there. Here we go. Silver. Yeah, so this one here, it has definitely come up a little bit, not as much as gold. gold has actually moved a considerable amount more in these last few weeks since the election, or since the actually just the last week, since Wednesday last week, it has been coming up. Silver, not so much. I mean, it came up after last week, but not nearly as much as gold did. US 30, we have that retracement that occurred, and then yesterday a nice rally coming back towards that all-time high to challenge it once again. It's always interesting to me whenever these retracements end up coming into the zone that was previously resistance. Right there. So this retracement provided the support for this big movement. And of course, it needed a retracement as well, and it came back to settle close to where it was there, where it was showing resistance. So likely we're headed upwards, creating some new highs in the Dow Jones as well. The Canadian Toronto Stock Exchange here, up $53 and creating new highs, only because that's just continuing to ride the momentum of the printing money. Crypto 30 also forming some new highs, not all-time highs, got a ways to go yet, but this here is a very encouraging sign. Now I'm going to take a break here, and I'm just going to share with you something that occurred in the whenever we're looking for what happened, whenever we're looking to see what's going to happen next, whenever we're looking to see what's going to happen next, it's always good to go back to see how it happened in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I think I can change the, yep, I can right here. All right. So this was in 2017 when there was a big spike, and all of a sudden Bitcoin was at 20 grand. And then it came back down right away after that big impulse. But there were a couple things that occurred inside that zone. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right close. You can see here it was at 1,000 for a long time throughout December 16, pumping up this way, and then through 17 it came up and then had this great big spike here. Well, this spike correlates to where we are today, because if we take a look at what happened here, this is in 2021. You can see that spike was right here, right there. And then we go back to how it was before. After that spike occurred, a little bit of a retracement, and then the run. Okay, that is how it always works. You don't really see this detail when this chart's like this, because this looks like a little anthill compared to this mountain, right? But if you take a look, there was actually a pretty good movement once you get it to scale. Well, this movement right here that just occurred, and then this little pullback, we're already pretty much finishing this up. I think that we're going to see another pullback from where we are today, simply because that's been the pattern. If we go to the next bull run, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and scale it in so that we can see it with greater clarity. Look at that. This was in 2021 at the very beginning. In December, nice little rise here, a nice bull run that occurred, and then a retracement. Whoop, must not to go too fast. And then a quick retracement. Well, this quick retracement is just after that flood comes in. A bunch of institutional traders are like, okay, well, let's sell. We made a bunch of money, and so they sell, and then people panic, and then those institutional traders buy up again so that the price can continue going up. Okay, so this was the 2021 move. All right, and then it went into the late 2021, and then it decided to, come back for the rest of that time. But then, sure enough, there it is. That right there was at the beginning of 2024, a brand new high. Well, then it just decided to kind of hang out like this, and retrace, didn't it? And then now the election. So this movement right here, I believe, correlates to these first bumps that occur. Okay, so that first bump right there, we're going to have another bump, I believe. So we even go back to the other. Where's the other one? That's right there. Even if we go back to this, we can see how that bump shaped even two shelves there. Can't really see on this chart. I might have to go to the other one. Oh, there we go. So there's this bump here, and then there's this bump here, and then the big shoot. Bang. Okay? So we've gone through that first bump. That's what this year was for, 2024. A little bit of a retracement in the fall. Things kind of fell back a little bit. Remember how Ethereum had dipped back, Bitcoin had dipped back and wasn't forming new highs for a while? Well, that's what we were there. Here is, I believe we're coming into this run right here next. So this is where we are in the timeline if we look at the patterns of the past. Okay? Again, that's the 2017 run. And then the 2020 run has a very similar pattern. There's this run right here, and then there's another nice run here, retracement, another run, retracement, and then it kind of plateaus, right? We don't really push up that a whole hell of a lot more. In fact, that 50,000 mark is pretty, it has a lot of resistance, and it pushed it back down. So I think that what we're going to see, yeah, look at that. So this here peaked out at 56 right there. Oh, let's move it up. Right there, that's 56,000, retracing back down to 45. That's a lot. That's a pretty good dip. And then going back up, peaks out. I'm going to sell around in here. In fact, I might even sell right here before this dip, because this here is the average price of the top. So this is our exit strategy right here. We're going to go through this, a little bit of a retracement, and then more. And during this time, I'm going to be fairly aggressive. I'm not going to recommend everybody do this, but I'm going to be fairly aggressive in moving assets that haven't gone up yet while this dip is coming back down. So I'm going to take a little bit of profit, skim off the top here, and put it into things that haven't gone up yet. Probably gaming coins, because gaming coins are going to be a little bit more delayed. So I've got a bunch of profit, move it into some gaming coins so that I'm ready for this part of the bubble. That way I can appreciate more gains. Because yeah, right now there's a bunch of stuff that's up, and I might as well take some cream off the top and put that into something else that's going to rise even faster. We've got some assets that have even gone up 200%, 300% in the last few months. And I believe that they're going to have a retracement. Similar to how all these assets always go through these bubbles. So that retracement, I'm interested in taking some of that profit that I got from these 2x and 3x coins and put them into something that can 5x or 10x. Now I'm actually getting a 15 to 30x off of the same money that started back here. Again, I'm not recommending everybody does that, but it is what I'm going to be doing, and you can watch along with these market analyses because I'm going to be just sharing what exactly I'm trading and how I do it. So if you'd like to learn more about that, definitely reach out to me. You can comment or private message me, and I'll give you the link to join our little sessions here. And as always, you can just tune in online. So that's the strategy, folks. I think that that's where we're at. We take a look at what's happened over the last month with the election. That is a nice big push. Very nice, a nice big push. We go back in time, we can see that has occurred in waves. So that first 6 months or so, it's got a nice move, retracement, and then a peak after the election. That's what I'm after. So after the election here, we've got probably 6 months of pushing up. Well, there was that retracement there. There wasn't there. Whoa, my screen is a little bit delayed there. Okay, so we have this impulse here, and then a retracement, and this happened here in January of 2021. So right after Christmas, there was that retracement, and then it went up again. And the amount it went up was more than the first bit. Was that right? No, it's 50-50. So this is 50% here, retracement, and then again does that same motion here, doubling its price. I shouldn't say 50%. 100% here came up another 100%. So this retracement here, we want to avoid this. We don't even want we want to avoid that. So we're going to be selling probably around February, March when it gets up close to the top. That's my goal. That's my goal. I want to catch this second big movement. We've had a nice big movement already this year. This here is what I call that pre-movement, that pre-bull run. Nice big retracement. This is when the institutional traders came in, and they were actually starting to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin off the books, by the way, so it didn't affect the price, because they wanted to be able to take advantage of this full swing once they went full online with Trump. So there we go. That's what Trump is here for. Trump is here to bring that faith back into the US dollar for a little bit longer, because apparently there's something worth keeping. So this, so we've got this motion here. I think it's going to come up to, it might come up to about 110,000. But even at 100,000, we might see that resistance pull it back a bit. And that's why I'm saying I'm going to take what we've got, what we have occurring that's doing really well, and I'm going to sell because I think it's going to retrace, and I'm going to put these assets into something that is still down low. And we're going to go through some of those today. Ethereum, for example. Nice big push coming out of this section right here. But as you can see, there's been some resistance at this 3,500 level, likely to continue over the next little while. However, I say that there's also this next week coming in is going to be another big wave of people coming on board, and they're going to be shuffling their money now that they've come into Bitcoin. Remember what I was talking about? They came into Bitcoin during this run. Oh yeah, look at that. We've also got another all-time high on Bitcoin. 99,662. Wow. So there we have brand new high. All of these people that came in here, this is what's going on. All of these people that came in, they're now looking for things because they're realizing, wow, that was nice. If they came in a little bit late, even, let's say they came in when Peanut made it famous. So they came in when Peanut made it famous and they made 27%, but that's weird because 27% is not that much. They keep hearing about how they can 5x. So they come into Bitcoin and they're not 5xing in a week, and so then they panic and they're like, oh my goodness, what do I get? And right now they're moving into meme coins. I've got a couple, but I'm not really big into them because I'm looking for longer games that will give me longer term results through this. The memes just pump and dump. That's what they do. And that's the degenerate money that if you want to make that, go ahead and have some fun with that. Like I say, I've got some meme coins at the very top of my watch list. Sundog, Bonk, and NPC. I think Peanut will probably do better than any one of those. But I'm not in it because it's too late for me. I would have wanted to get in when I thought about the meme before I saw the meme. I thought about making a meme about Peanut. I just didn't know how, so I didn't bother. But then sure enough, after the election, we find Peanut went up 2,400%. So right now, that's what's happening. This money that just came into Bitcoin is looking for new places to go. And the first place that they're being introduced are the memes. So I think that we're going to see some of the liquidity that came into Bitcoin come down a little bit as the money goes into the memes, and the smart money goes into the altcoins. And I'm talking about ADA, Polygon, Polkadot, XRP, all of these, what some of them call boomer coins because it's so old in the game. Some of them started in 2018, so they're called boomer coins. The smart money is going to the boomer coins. And I think that this retracement, whether it happens at 100 here or maybe 110, that this retracement is going to bring us back down probably 30%. All right, so if we're at 100, a 30% drop is going to bring us back down to election levels. And again, this is all speculation. That's if it were to start retracing here at 100. If it goes up to 110, that 30% drop is definitely different. Right? That's only coming back down to this little level here, which makes sense, doesn't it? We always see this. We always see price action hovering around points of interest and pivot points. So if we end up going up to 110, that retracement is very likely to come back down and settle around that $80,000 mark. Now, it's not going to stay there, but that's just something to be aware of. This area right here is the perfect time to start moving out of these big L1 coins and put them into some altcoins while this price is going down so that you don't lose that money. Altcoins are going to be going up while this goes down. Maybe not necessarily up, but they're going to get volatile. And so that's when we grab these altcoins. Let's go through them. ADA, great example, creating new highs here for 2024 like there's no tomorrow. Doing very, very well. Coming up now at $1.15 US. I kept on watching it yesterday and it was just crawling. At Canadian dollars, it was 130, 140, 150 all in one day. It was quite something to watch. Modic. This one here, look at that. This altcoin is already showing its strength, finding a little bit of resistance here at the 58-cent level. Nothing to be too concerned about. In fact, it might even retrace. I said that they were going to get volatile. And it's just because institutional traders, they're trading this thing like you wouldn't believe. So they're bringing their money in. It's going up. They're selling because they made a quick 15%, 20%. That's all they want. In Forex, they have to wait 4 or 5 months for that kind of thing. They can do this here in a couple days. So institutional traders are going to start dumping this a little bit. I think we're going to see some volatility in the altcoins, and it's going to create a lot of conversation. There's going to be tons of people on the streets even talking about, oh, did you see what happened to XRP yesterday? And then, the neighbor is going to be like, what? I don't know anything about XRP. And then he's going to learn and he's going to say, you made how much? And I want to buy in. So then we're going to see more influx coming into those altcoins as more and more time goes on. And this run, I think, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're gonna go up. There's no question. Ethereum might even double from where it is now. Who knows? But that's only double. These altcoins, they've doubled, and we haven't even started the bubble yet. Solana. Look at that. Solana was at 166 back at the beginning of November. 166. It's gone up $100 almost, which gives a 65% return. Again, an altcoin. This one here is really backing the meme coins, and that's why I think we're seeing the kind of growth that we've seen over since the election. It's just because that's just what's happening. All of that money that's coming in to the Bitcoin, it's diverting into wherever the hype is, right? Right now, that's the memes. Injective token. Nice little movement coming out, forming a brand new high. We haven't been this high since, June when I bought. And so this is great. Now we've got all my positions in Injective are now in great profit. And in fact, if I remember correctly, Jennifer bought, when was that? Earlier this week, I think. Monday? Something like that. Yeah, she bought around in this area. $24 or so. And so she's up 17% this week. 3 Protocol, still hovering down low. Good opportunity to grab something if you want to get some quick movements as it comes back up to its all-time high. Sitting at 7.6 cents right now. That all-time high would provide you a 500% return. Just coming back to the all-time high. WooCommerce. I did it again. I don't know what it is with me and WooCommerce. It's because maybe because I was a WordPress developer for so long. But here we have the retracement on a Woo that is coming back over the last few days. We can see it's shooting back up again, likely to create some new highs. I'm going to suggest that people be ready for a movement that will actually take them all the way up to this 36.5 cent mark, simply because there's not really a whole lot of resistance other than what it already hit. See, here is where that price point, where that price action ends up bouncing a bunch. Well, we are just underneath that already, and we already had a retracement afterwards. So I think that we are at the bottom of this next movement that's going to take us up to probably in this area here, 36, 37, maybe even 39 cents. So yeah, watch for that. BitTensor still hanging out in this little consolidation zone just above the $500 mark. It's up $33 already today, and so that is yeah, so that's good news. Likely we can see now there's actually some consolidation occurring. In fact, not only is there consolidation, I actually see a downward trend, because if I go like this, we've got this happening here. This deep retracement is probably the accumulation it needs to go up. And yes, BitTensor will go up, especially over the next few months. Likely to be, this is likely to be at least a 5x, 2,500 and plus. Some people think it's going to outpace Ethereum, but I don't think that's very difficult to do. Ethereum is tough because Ethereum is like one of those things where it just doesn't make any sense to trade unless you've got thousands and thousands of dollars to trade, because even take into consideration, day before yesterday, I was looking at some options like to swap from one coin into another. Some coins have been doing really well, and then I want to put that money that I've made into coins that haven't done that impulse yet to gain some of that, to appreciate some of that early movement gains. But the transaction fee on a $200 transaction in Ethereum, the transaction fee was $90. So Ethereum is not going to outperform a lot of the other coins, simply because a lot of the other coins, they're so much easier to get into. You don't need to get started with $1,000 or $2,000 to make it worth your while. Think about it. If it's $1,000 and your transaction fee is $90, you're almost at 10%. That's a 9% drop. You got to make that 9% back in your trade. Now, you can do that in cryptos, but you got to time it and you got to pay attention, because you got transaction fees coming out the other side too. So if you want to move money, you got to make sure that you're moving enough money to make it worth your while. People are coming in with nothing right now. The economy is in the tank. People are struggling. Most debt is over leveraging the entire commercial, the entire retail economy. So Christmas is not going to be that great for a lot of people because they don't have a whole lot of money, which means Ethereum is likely going to end up not being a staple coin throughout the ecosystem. Why? Because it costs you $40 to buy a $5 coffee. That's why. It's just not usable day to day. It's strictly an investment for people who have that kind of money. And most of the people coming on board are not going to be going after Ethereum. Yes, it will go up. Ethereum will go up. It'll happen. Don't worry. But it's not going to be what people think it is, because those fees. Fetch AI. This is super. What do I call this? Super intelligence. This is artificial super intelligence. Is the name of the company. In fact, let's go and look it up on here. Oh wait, that's that. Let's go. Oops. Fetch right here. Is this it? Nope. This is not it. There we go. Oh, FET, not fetch, just FET. All right, so this is artificial super intelligence. Over the last day, it's even gone up a fair bit with a nice, yeah, It's actually up 16% today. But if we go back to all, you can see over the long term, over the long period, here we have the all-time high at $3.26, likely to reach that without a problem by the end of the month, by the end of December, rather, by the end of the year. So this one here is sitting at 1.4. This is going to scream past here. Major, major infrastructure coin for AI and tokenization of digital assets. Look at the market cap versus the FDV. So we've got great saturation there. We don't have to worry about here. I'll explain a little bit more about what this is. So when you have a high ratio, let's bring this over. Come on. When you have a high ratio between the market cap and the FDV, so if it's really, really high here, then what happens when the price goes up like this, what happens is that there's a great deal of incentive for the people that are holding the money to sell. And then what happens is that people leave. And that's exactly what happened in this area here. When it first got started back in 2021, when that first growth spurt happened, there wasn't a lot of the fully dilated volume. It hadn't gone up very high. And so then what happened is after it went up, all those investors that were holding the money, they sold because there was not a whole lot of money in the company yet. So when there's a high, good ratio in that market cap has saturated the fully dilated volume, when it goes up, there will be less of an impact on the holders when the price comes back down again. So they're going to be happier. They won't be selling as much. That's the theory. Again, it's uncharted territory. There are companies who are starting specifically to become a success in 6 months and then close. And they're going to literally break open the champagne and cigars because of how awesome that 6 months was. It's not like it was before where people are trying to build companies that last 200 years because it's the Wild West. You have no idea what's going to happen. You can't be locked down to one thing. You have to be able to move laterally because of how fast technology is moving. So, yeah, hope that helps people recognize, why it is that some of these assets are better than others. $1.40, sitting at $1.43 with a market cap of $3.48 billion. This is definitely ready to come back up to here by the end of the year and beyond within those first few months. This going to $10 wouldn't be out of the question. Desync. This one's definitely my favorite. Look at us coming back up to those all-time highs. You know what that means? It means good money has been made here in the last little while. In fact, we go to my average price, which is at the top of this pivot zone right here. The average price that I bought at 15 cents is already right now at 143%. Now this is again just the beginning, folks, and Destra is one of those main staples for AI and storage. This is the principle of this is the principle of getting the making sure that you get your tools for the gold mine, for the gold rush. Don't just try to find the gold. Buy and sell those tools for the gold rush, and that's what Destra is. So sitting at 36 cents right now, you can see this chart throughout time has actually remained fairly consistent, still coming up every once in a while, even in some of the worst market that the cryptos have seen in the last 4 years. So it did very well. It is now broken out, pushing up against that all-time high once again. Very, very encouraging. So let's just, it's almost like that price hasn't quite updated all the way. Well, there we go. That's where it reached that all-time high. A little bit of a retracement, but very little retracement. So exciting to see. So now it's about finding that next all-time high and going on beyond that. And this is going to be a major coin. It's not an altcoin. It's actually a project infrastructure coin. So it's going to be a little bit. It's right now we're seeing the institution, the smart money's coming in, getting ready. That's what we've been seeing. I remember saying if this is under $1, it's on sale. It's still true. Still true. Obviously, if you're at $1 and it goes to $10, you're only 10xing. But right now you're at 35 and it goes to $10, now you're 20xing plus. 0 by 0 coming out of this consolidation zone with a nice little push. This is wonderful to see. This one here is also a fairly large bag that I'm holding. And if we look at what it's done here over the last little while, you know, this is a nice 28% rise here over the last, what is it? Yeah, since Friday, yesterday. So a nice 28% rise here over the last day. Right now, likely, let's go see what it's doing.
Bought yesterday. That was good.
And you bought yesterday. Nice, nice. So you bought yesterday. Yeah, that's good. Good. You know, I was just looking for the numbers to change, but they didn't because this is only measuring the day. Okay, no problem. So it's up 1.9 cents US. And onwards and upwards. You know, we've got great retracements here, or great support and resistance showing. With this high, or this low rather, being so much higher than this low, we are in position for the next move. And 0 by 0 is definitely not going to disappoint. What we can notice, if we go back out to that daily chart, we can see how this has actually formed a nice little descending wedge there, and then we bring this one up, and then we're seeing a rise in that. So this is now starting to consolidate. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because we don't really need it anymore, being broken out of that white line. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this too because we don't really need it anymore. Okay, awesome. So 0 by 0 is just building up that energy in between these 2 points, and when it breaks out, likely to reach for that all-time high, hitting these shelves along the way. I do believe we are going to see some resistance at 22, 27, 36, and then of course the all-time high as well. But the breakout coming out of this trend line right here is going to be the moment that we know it's actually here today. It's happening. Don't wait until then, by the way. If you want to get some 0 by 0, you'll want to get it before it breaks out. ARC. Beautiful movement last few days, especially coming back from this retracement, finding support off the 4.4 cent level. ARC has now definitely got only one more resistance point here at 8.6 cents before it can shoot up to the 15-cent mark. Think about that. Right now, 15 cents is the all-time high, so right now that would already be 108% return. So you'd be doubling your money even if you bought right now and just took it until the top. Link AI. This one here is still very much consolidating. It's been consolidating almost since it opened. Just testing things out. This movement here in July, that was nice to see that it has that room to move, and then coming back down, forming higher lows the entire time. It's a very, very encouraging chart. I think this one's ready to take off. Again, this isn't an altcoin. This is a utility coin, and so the altcoins are going to do their thing first. We're going to see some volatility coming in here as the smart money comes in. But then once the altcoins, everybody's happy with their 5-6x that they get from altcoins over the next few weeks to you know, the end of the year, that's when we're going to see things start to shift over. We're going to see the Bitcoin and the altcoins drop a little bit as the money liquidates into these projects here. So you want to be in position before that time. That's why we started doing these market analyses back in September, August. 01 Labs hanging out here just below the all-time high. Those triple bottoms are giving us that support at the moment. Might see a little bit more of a retracement. Would like to see some actually I would like to see some more retracement come back down. That'd be wonderful to see. WorldCoin, great infrastructure coin. This has got some great potential, coming back up to the all-time high with a 412% return from where I purchased this a few days ago. And yeah, we're gonna be going on to PAL. So I found out more about what happened with PAL this day, on this day that it dropped. It was actually a really dumb PR move where they made a partnership with the company, then the DAO that was really being a part of this community. The DAO wasn't happy with that decision, and so then there was a split. People were like, "Fine, I'm leaving if that's how you're going to be." And it was just a dumb PR move because of the way they did it. And that's all it is. It doesn't really affect the project a whole lot. That new partnership, in fact, may very well provide us with the returns that we've wanted. So that's why when you see fire sales like this, you buy. Because even if you lose the amount of time, this goes back to odds when you're in gambling. You're playing blackjack, you sit there and you got to calculate the odds. Is it worth it for me to take this risk? Well, the odds of it coming back after this is really high. That's why I did this move. Because whenever whiplashes, usually the odds are it's going to come back at least to an average place. And so I bought thinking, hey, if it comes back to that average, what is that? That's a nice little 86. Look at that. I could have doubled my money, right? Now, it didn't happen yet, but that's because we're just now finding a new support. This company isn't it's not going underground. It's not dying. In fact, let's go look it up. Wait a second. This was what? FAR. No, PAL. PAL AI. You can see here, it's got 144 million market cap. It's only a little bit higher. The fully dilated volume is only 176. So still, it's in a good spot. The sentiment is still good. We've got PAL that goes to the moon. It's saying Palm goes to the moon, PAL goes to the dumbs. Oh, all curses to the managers of this project, right? So people are hating on what's going on. But then look, bullish. PAL going to $5. PAL still very bullish. Here we go. Not too late to not too late to buy. So there's still a good sentiment on this, and really that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see, what's going on, what's hyping. I don't really care which coins win or which ones lose, or which ones are long term or which ones are short term. I just want to know which ones that get the most action, what gets the most engagement, what gets the most hype, because that's all we're doing. We're just following the hype to cash in, right? So that's why I've positioned where I've positioned. And so PAL, this big drop here, some people are jumping ship. I'm not. Still in a good position. Numbers look good. The community's still active. It's just the community's half as big as it was. That's all. That's good. What do you do when there's blood in the streets? Buy a house. FAR, still hanging out. Beautiful how it's going to be building some energy here, especially over the next little while. We might see this consolidate longer, folks. I think that the gaming coins are going to come in after the AI coins. The gaming coins are, while there are a lot of meme coins that bring people into gaming coins, but again, when we take a look at where the majority of the money is, I think that we're going to see it in the alts here first, going into AI coins, and then gaming coins towards the end of this run. Gala. And again, FAR, as time goes on, if it stays down here while all this other stuff ends up, like, let's say, for instance, just hypothetically, let's say 0 by 0 all of a sudden does a breakout, and it comes up to this all-time high and a little bit beyond, and I get 200%. Well, getting 200% again is going to be kind of tough, right? So after I get this, when I reach this point, I'm going to be evaluating what this position is, because if I can sell this, if I can double my money here, sell here, right? And then I move it into FAR, way down here. Now what I'm doing is that I'm taking the 0 by 0 growth, say it's $100, and I make, what did I say? Yeah, let's say it's $100, and then I go ahead and make $300. Bring my balance up to $300. Well, that $300 now, I'm going to go ahead and put it into FAR while it's hanging out here still, because this one's going to be a little bit behind the rest of the coins. So now that $300 can go up 23 times. So instead of putting $100 and going up to $2,300, now I'm going in at $300 on this asset. Sorry, $100 on the first one, bringing it to 300, entering it here, and then seeing that 300 turn into 23 times, whatever the math is. Math is not an exact science, and I should probably have a little calculator right here so it's nice and fast instead of having to pull up the slow one on my computer. But 23 times 300 is a lot bigger, and it's a lot better than 100 times 2300. There. Gala. What's 2300 times 3? 66. There you go. 69,000. That's better. 6,900, sorry. 100. Okay, so Gala, another infrastructure coin for gaming. This community here is doing very well. In fact, it's likely to be one of the leaders, I'm finding out as time goes on. I'm not going to move around too much yet, but it's in position. Great numbers. And we take a look at the full chart here. We can see that we are very low. Very low. Now, what we can notice about this spike here is that it is only at 71 cents. So it's not like it went up, beforehand it was at, oh yeah, look at that. It was actually less than, there was 2 cents here. So, it goes up to 70 cents, but it's not like some coins where it's like going from 10 cents to $5 and then coming back down again. This is actually a fairly small movement in the big scheme of things. That was in 2021 in the last run. And then, of course, again, because there wasn't a whole lot of volume actually sitting there, those holders didn't want to be left holding the bag for this drop, so they went ahead and sold, and then it dropped. Normal. That's just the nature of the business. But ever since then, you can see it's been maintaining itself above this, what is this, 1.6 cents level. Right now sitting at 3.4 cents. Is that right? Yep, sitting at 3.4 cents right now. So great movement. It can go up to 70 cents, not a problem. That's where it was. Peaked out, actually. It peaked out at 86.9. So great movement available for it there. That is a nice movement. 32 to, again, 2,300. The position that I got was back further at 2.2 cents. And so that one there could actually go 4,400. IMX. And again, look at Gala. $1.24 billion. That's not a small thing anymore. At a small price, but it's not a small company. IMX, same idea. It's just in a great big huge consolidation range right now, and it's getting tighter as we go. I would expect this to break out here in the next, probably 3-4 weeks, especially as those altcoins start to filter down into these performers. Super with a great move coming up for sure, because this here might have a retracement coming back to test this area right here. Could very well do that, but then after that, expect it to go up and challenge that 265 level, and then beyond to that all-time high. So right now, to the all-time high is about 283. Now we're into the memes. Sundog, it is what it is. I kind of want to blot this out of my memory for coming in so early, but whatever. Bonk, doing very well. In fact, Bonk is up. What is Bonk up? Bonk is up 100% from where I bought. So I've doubled my money there in the last little while. What was that? I started that middle of October. And then, of course, NPC. Having formed its new high, it's coming back down, finding some support here at this previous high right there. So this being that previous high, this movement was looking for support back at that level, and sure enough, it's found it. So it's ready for its next impulse. And there you have it, folks. That is market analysis for today. I think that that's all I wanted to cover, but I am going to let you know, folks, that as a result of some of these wins that I've got over the last little while, I don't know if I'll do it with Bonk, but I certainly can see the potential of moving some money from ARC. And only because coming up to the all-time high from where we are right now, oh no, that is actually yet another double. So yeah, I might hold out, but I am definitely on the prowl already. You know, we've got Bitcoin having that great big movement. It might still go up to that 110 before it retraces, but I don't want to wait until then. I want to make sure that I'm catching these sales, or rather, I'm catching these opportunities in advance. And so, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for an asset that has done very, very well over the last little while. Not Destra. It has done very well, but I'm not going to take out of it. I'm holding on to this one. This one here is probably my biggest, I think it is my biggest bag. And my intent is to have this 20x in this super cycle. So everything that I make, if it's under $1, I'll definitely be throwing it into here. But I do want to find a good one to throw into like FAR, Gala, because those ones I do see being pretty key for the coins. Oh, another one too that I actually heard about just recently. I want to share this one with you. Is Carrot. Carrot is a small cap coin. Like, look at this, 75 million, and this diluted volume is pretty dangerous. So this is not something. This is pretty risky. Okay, but it's got a good community, clean organization. They've got they've got memes going out there, so they're getting good marketing. And this market cap is beautiful because if we take a look at the all-time, it has not done the big pumps and dumps. Okay, this has maintained itself even through the dark period of crypto. It is actually still maintained its optimism. And so as a result, this one here is definitely in a good position. Again, little bit higher on the risk side, so be sure that you're not putting in more than you're willing to lose. All of these could literally drop. Like, who knows? I don't think that's the case because we're looking at patterns and we're seeing how much these grow whenever this occurs. However, Carrot is it's one of those projects where they have great community, great communication, and the project being in gaming, that's going to do fairly well. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this goes up to $2-3. No problem. So what is that? Well, that's a 6x from where we are right now. So yeah, but that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be looking for something that has done very well, given me 2-3x return, and I'm maybe not as confident in it anymore. Maybe my sentiment around it is a little bit lower. You know, like Polygon did really well. And right now it's at this point of resistance, right? It's at this point of resistance. So if it's at a point of resistance, then we could see a retracement. Well, maybe I should be selling this right now, taking this 54% gains and throwing it into something that will gain more later on. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Think about that for a while. If you have any questions, let me know. Definitely throw some comments into our chat there. And if you would like the link to join in in our studio, definitely feel free to private message me, and I'll be happy to share that link with you. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, Trading Titans, on market analysis for November 23rd. Thank you so much.